A good thing I checked the sound. I was muted. A good thing I checked the sound. Now, let me go to the settings and make sure that the sound is really coming here. Yeah, it does. And speaker. Okay, that's lovely. All right. So, microphone one, two. Yeah, it does. And speaker. Okay, that's lovely. All right. So, as you can see, this title says, "What tradition do you follow?" Today, out of curiosity, I've um, I've put Kemetic in the search box on YouTube, and to my surprise, most of the results showed videos about things that I will put. Oh, I have to check that you can hear me. That sound comes from the headset. Today, out of curiosity, comes from the headset. Okay, you can still hear me. So most of the results were videos that I will label on the metaphysics. There was a fair bit of Kemetic yoga, and there was a lot of spirituality. But honestly, under the search of Kemetic, and also there's another thing I did as well, and everybody can give it a try. If you do a search, you have the option to choose uh, the uploaded date. You have many search options, but you have the option search by uploaded date. So it will give you the most recent videos. You see, that's the order that it will be in. So that's what I did, and I barely saw any videos or any result for the entry Kemetic. I barely saw any videos dealing with the Medu Netcher. And a language is the heart of a culture. You see, I wanted to give the title, "What culture do you follow?" But I decided to just put tradition because we have some brothers who like to say that because their parents were Christians, then it means that it's their culture, as if they chose it, and as if their forefathers chose it. But really, that comes usually from people who want to deter brothers and sisters from being involved with the Kemetic way of life. And we are at a time. Héros, c'est quoi ça? We are at a time where there are so many people who talk about Kemet, so many people who talk even about the Medu Netcher, but they don't um, make the effort in being in learning it really. Now, some people unfortunately like to see what others do or say about a subject matter before they get their own opinion about it. Now, if there are some of you who are interested in Kemet and or the Medu Netcher, but you are waiting for someone like Oprah Winfrey or other very famous people, Jimmy Kimmel, or all these other people that have a large audience talk shows to address Kemet and Medu Netcher, you will wait a long time. I would encourage you, sorry, I would encourage you to stop waiting for so many people. That's like waiting for validation. You have your own mind, you have your own brain, and if you want to um, follow the tradition of people who have not led us anywhere, then go ahead because they are numerous. They've been there for a while. They have their organization. They have their hierarchy. Um, so you are welcome at any time. But there will be future generation, and amongst the future generation, there will be your children. You see. So you have an opportunity to be amongst those who want to preserve the tradition of Kemet. And like I said, you can choose any day of the week, and it's 4 p.m. EST. So once a week, you can learn the Medu Netcher with me, and we can start in September. So you know 2 months in advance that it's going to be up and popping. But like I've said before, if we have enough people before September, we can start. And when I say enough people, that's at least 5 persons. I'm sure some of you know at least 1 or 2 people interested in learning the Medu Netcher. Don't wait for validation. When you get familiar with this ancient language, you don't have to rely on people. You don't have to take people's word for it. Oh, I want to move this. And you will most likely not be misled because we have some people who have a little bit of knowledge about the Medu Netcher and they make stuff up and it's just pitiful. Whenever I say or share some things, not to say teach some things, whether it's the Medu Netcher or not, I was I'm used to being careful because I don't want my listeners to make a fool out of themselves. Other people just don't care. They'll say something just because it sounds good or just because it sounds different. When people have groupies, they can basically say anything they want. When it comes to Kemet, we hear so many things. I mean, no later than today, I was at work, and I mean, usually you must know what it is. You're at work and you hear people, saying stuff that, just cross their mind, or say stuff that's strictly uh, religious. This is mainly theology. They don't know much about ancient history, you know. And sometimes when you ask them, where do you get that from? They tell you things like, well, it's proven. You can just ask, proven by who? Um, so we have the people who are not necessarily informed about ancient history because they are mainly religious, and what matters to them is what's written in their religious literature. Then you have other people who kind of have some knowledge about general history, whether it's Black history or just history in general. But when it comes to Kemet, we must say, I think it's safe to say that we usually don't have much knowledge when it comes to the language. And amongst the so-called conscious community, how many uh, PhDs in Egyptology do we have? See, there's a person. Um, I thought for years that that person was actually a PhD in Egyptology, but I heard from one of the student that the person actually has a master's degree, uh, which doesn't take anything away from the knowledge. and the fact that this person has been teaching a Netcher for many years, but we kind of hear everything and anything when it comes to Kemet. So I would insist, and I'm hoping that some people will get on board. It's time to get serious. I have plenty of pictures from different museums. I have the videos that I've been sharing, that I'm sharing usually on a regular, on a daily basis. But I have a lot of pictures. For example, in the Geneva Museum in Switzerland, we are not allowed to film, so we cannot take pictures. Have plenty of pictures. And even in those museums where we are allowed to film, like Bologna, and what's the other one again? Latest one I went to in Italy. Oh, it escapes me now. Well, let me see on my phone. So Bologna, and the other one is, oh, the other one was Roma. No, no, my bad, my bad. Um, that's Florence. That's Florence. I say Roma because I have one video about an obelisk, and where was it from? Let me listen to it. Hold on. Yeah, the obelisk was definitely in Roma. From what I read, there are more obelisks in in Italy than even in Egypt. So I have a fair bit of pictures from those museums as well. Some things that I just chose not to film, but I just took pictures. And I did that a while back. I went through some of the pictures and went through some of the vocabularies that um, we go through during the classes. But honestly, there wasn't much participation. I mean, whenever you address the Medu nature, usually there's not much participation. You People want to learn all those languages that are not African languages. And then they talk the black talk. But to each his own. That's what they do, and everybody have the right to do what they want. I think we have already established that those school of thoughts and those tradition that are practiced and shared by most of the conscious community members don't have much to do with Africa, and we have people who just somehow, some way, are trying to make all those ancient people black. Like all black everything. There's even a website that's quite humoristic, and I address it. I scroll to that website. I don't really want to advertise for it, but for those who have been following the live stream, the sad thing is that a lot of people see websites like that, and they are actually impressed. Not only they believe the so-called information, but they are impressed. So it's the kind of website that would tell you that the Sumerians were black. I mean, even probably ancient Greece, but anyway, when I would go through the vocabulary on different artifacts, there wasn't much participation, and even after the upload, there wasn't much views. So I expect that if we have a good turn up, either from September or before September, and whenever I will live stream and go through this vocabulary, then we will have a few people in attendance and we can learn together. I would like to have people that I can discuss the meta nature with, you see, because as much as I teach and I've been teaching, I can always learn from people. You understand what I'm saying? So it's time for you, brothers and sisters, to get serious. Some of you have. Fais attention, d'accord? Fais attention. Fais attention. Sorry about this. Kind of lost my thought. But yes, some of you have considered the Medu Netcher. And unfortunately, many of you must have heard the different talking points of people who just have a dislike, if not a hate, for Kemet. And it has to be said, a lot of people uh, talk down on Kemet or Kemetic people or the Medu Netcher because they know that they cannot really discuss it because they don't have the interest of learning it. It's not an obligation. So it's more convenient to just say either that it hasn't been deciphered or that it doesn't help, that it's not relevant. You know, for a strange reason, these ancient Asiatic languages that most of the conscious community members don't speak, those ancient Asiatic or Asian languages, they matter somehow, some way, for a strange reason. I mean, we really know why, but now the meta nature that happens to be older than those languages, for a strange reason, doesn't matter. You see, you meet Papa. Hmm? So, what tradition do you follow? If you want to follow the Kemetic tradition, whether you want to learn the meta nature with me or with other people, I suggest you deal with the language mainly. And for those who don't know, I would suggest you don't start trying to read the Papyrus of Ani, the Peret M. Heru of Ani, or the so called Book of the Dead. I really recommend that you read the Maxims of Ptahotep, or also called the Wisdom of Ptahotep. You see? So even if you don't learn the meta nature with me, you can learn with other people, and we can always engage and discuss and talk about it. There's so much to learn. There's so much to go through. I don't want to take the time of doing live stream and going through some artifacts, and there's no interest, you know. So I'm not trying to say that soon this channel will be mainly about the meta nature and also some music as well, because you've noticed that I've been, doing dealing with music as well, and the music as well doesn't have much views, but it's okay. You know, something I love doing. Um, but I wouldn't mind at all. I wouldn't mind at all if there's a lot more meta nature on this channel, you know. But there's a need for interest, you know, people to be interested with it. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. I know some people who've been talking about the Medu Nature for a good 10 years. I know a lot of people who said they will learn the Medu Nature for a good 10 years, and after 10 years, they haven't learned Jah. And now you definitely have an opportunity. See, so don't miss this opportunity. When your children will ask you, what tradition were you following? Well, wasn't you down? How come you were not down? How come you never learned it? What will you say? That you were too busy? You are free to pick up any day of the week. You understand what I'm saying? Seize this opportunity. You will definitely have a good introduction. And for those who don't know, you do have some testimonials. It's on the account. You know, you have a playlist that says testimonials. So um, it's time to get serious. I've been tired for a long time hearing people talking about, and it's not just the Meta Nature that they are talking nonsense about, but I mean, I don't want to say any names, but you know, the sad thing is that on your YouTube account, you can view the comments for all videos. There's no way for other people to have this view. But the things that comes up sometime, you know, and as usual, the weirdest stuff comes from anonymous and unidentified individuals. You see, because some people do live on another planet. You know, they are on Earth some time of the day, maybe the daytime, but at some point, when the time when they sleep, or a good 2 3 hours a day, they live on some other planet. They live on some they live somewhere else. Their mind is somewhere else. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And I don't mind. You see, right now there's not many people. If I talk about current events, if I talk about religion, like it's done on many other platform, talk about the typical uh, Abrahamic literature, usually people have a lot to say. Um, but that's not where my interest lies. I'm really looking for people who want to take it further. You see, I'm right here. Give me a moment, just a moment. Now, don't get me wrong. Now that I'm live as usual, you are free to address any topic whatsoever, ask any question, make any statement. And you can use a chat or you can get on the panel. To get on the panel, you need to be able to show your face. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. Just use the chat. But I will insist. I will insist. So if some of you feel some kind of way with me reminding the people on a regular basis, because you never know who you can reach on each day, people don't have the same availability. So you might as well just unsubscribe. You know what I'm saying? Because I will definitely insist. You see? But in the meantime, feel free. I'm tired of pseudos. I've been tired of pseudos. You know, I was slandered. I was disrespected. I lost thousands of subscribers. I lost many accounts because I wouldn't tolerate pseudos or pseudoism. You know, and I don't see myself anytime soon accepting the pseudo teachings, the freestyles, the linguistic acrobatics, the linguistic gymnastics. You know, and the so-called conscious community. I'm sorry, but for the most part, the level is not great, and it could be different. And the sad thing is that channels that have a large following, large platform, they just allow anybody to just come in and speak their game. I mean, if we look at the so-called conscious community, and by that I mean the people who claim to know the deal, to know what's up, to have knowledge of self, and so on. Where are we? What are we debating? Aren't we debating the same things that people have debated years ago? See, at least some people who are into the Abrahamic belief system, they learn the main language of their faith, you see? So they are able to engage when it comes to the corpus. Most don't, however, so they are happy with the linguistic acrobatics and linguistic gymnastics, you see? And I could make references, but I've said it so many times, and I'm feeling like I don't want people to think that I'm targeting one particular school of thoughts. You see, but there's all those so many Kemetic people or so-called Kemetic people. I mean, they will wear Ankh or Ujat. You know what I'm saying? And that's about it. They will know 2 3 Kemetic words, and that's about it. They will not even be able to read them. Besides the Ankh. The Ankh will be the only symbol that they will be able to read. Does that fly? Is that cool? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So we could have way more interesting discussions and conversation we could raise the level, and it might inspire people to get in the field. It will actually most likely encourage some brothers and sisters to get in the field. So you can be equipped with at least the knowledge of the Medu Netcher, so you can read some of the text, and then if you decide, you can take it even further with a baggage or strong knowledge already. Don't waste time. The younger you are, the better. Because learning the Medu Netcher is a great tool that you can pass on to your family members, particularly your children. It's very important. So, besides the information that can be learned on articles online, on books, and through some videos, presentations, documentaries, um, um, lectures, and or debate with knowledge of the Meta Nature, you can go directly to a museum that has some ancient Egyptian artifacts and read directly from the primaries. And that's great. That's something you can be proud of. And your children can be proud of as well. Or you can choose the common path or school of thoughts that our people have been into for 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, and you can make the same talking points, and there's no progress, and you don't really have much knowledge. I mean, I could really name some organizations or name teachings of these different organizations, but for the most part, it is spookism. For the most part, that's what it is. Most of the stuff that they thought was never substantiated scientifically. People just believe it because they said so. We have a lot of that in the so-called conscious community because they have chosen to almost deify their teacher, claim that the teacher were divinely inspired. So they figure that the knowledge, as they call it, the information that their teachers came up with is something to follow for eternity because it happens to be correct, that it happens to be accurate. And that's the way to lead us forward. But if we do closely, a lot of them, they ally themselves with some crazy um what word can I use? Crazy philosophies, And I think some of you have an idea of, which organization I have in mind right now. But there's a lot of things that we would have never accepted if it didn't come from these organizations that has been there for a while. It's true, it's been there for a minute now. Some of our people feel like, well, okay, because such and such organization has been there for a little while, and I guess I might as well just roll with it. If you feel that way, then give it a try. You will be disappointed in the end because those are organizations that are not doing well, that have lost a lot of gains of the past. And some of them had a lot back then, not only because they had some loyal and motivated members, but also because a fair bit of them used to be financed by foreign forces, foreign countries, you know. And people act like, those things are not documented. Some of those organizations themselves, they said it, that they got the money from abroad, you know. So we can raise the bar, we can raise the level, you know. We don't have to be lame just because the majority is lame. We don't have to accept foolishness just because it comes from people who are appreciated, with people who have a large following. Because when we're asked to show and prove, a lot of time it becomes humoristic. We can just do better. We definitely can do better. We have those people who've been talking about. I mean, the so-called conscious community. I mean, there's not 10,000 different school of thoughts or movements, and they've been talking about the same thing, But ultimately, what skilled, what skills have they gained? For the most part, they do quotation. They are good at that because they compile so much quotation over the years. But they don't really know the language of their school of thought or culture. Oh, maman. Va voir maman. Va voir maman, j'ai dit. Va voir maman, j'ai dit. Va voir maman. Tiens, tiens. What was I saying? So, in terms of history, geography, and even culture is not much knowledge because they're not studying the original culture of their school of thought. They're following some diluted, hybrid, and blackened or blackenized version of different school of thought. Let me turn the light on. So, what's your take on all that? Don't you want to try something? And I don't like to say something new. Allume ça. I don't like to say something new because it's older than these different school of thoughts. But I remember back then when I was on message boards, I used to be on many message boards, and sometimes people were so disrespectful. I'm telling you. I mean, that's like more than 10 years ago. So people were not talking about Kemet as much as people do now, or a lot less people who knew about it. And sometimes you will have people who will be like, "Yeah, this, you come with this Johnny come lately stuff," and I'm like, "For real?" You have many people, just the mere fact that you bring something different than the current school of thoughts, they dislike you. Why? Many because they cannot converse, they cannot discuss, they cannot engage in the conversation because of their lack of knowledge about it. And many people are actually happy to see people of African descent worshiping people who don't look like them. It's good for business, it's good for influence, it's good for power. You know, you put the right chip in their brain, they're like robots. They'll spend their money, their time, their energy for you. So you want to keep it that way. You want to keep that order. Now we have some scholars. We have some scholars. I don't understand why they associate themselves with foul people. African Science wrote, "How old do you think humankind is, Shaka?" Well, in that topic, what I think don't matter much. But it appears to me that scientists say that the Big Bang happened like what? It's 6 billion years ago, something like that. I don't think. Do I have Encyclopedia Britannica on this computer? No, I thought I did. I thought I did. It's funny. I thought I did. For real? So, oh, all right. Go on our website. But the Big Bang is not humanity anyway. Well, the so-called Big Bang that occurred 13.8 billion years ago. So when it comes to humanity, yeah, indeed, African science world, humans, not the universe. I really don't know. I really don't know. But at one point, Lucy was considered to be the oldest fossil of some hominid, or I don't really have the jargon, but it was around 2 million years ago. Some, I mean, yes, 2 million years old. But they have found much older remains ever since, and I think at one point the oldest remains were from South Africa. But that's only the oldest remains that they found. It doesn't mean that humanity started at that point. You know, there might have been remains that were older and that haven't been found, or basically disintegrated. Somehow, some way. But why that question, brother? That's funny. If we talk about Homo sapien, and I'm Britannica Encyclopedia Britannica's website, the entry for Homo sapiens, and it says, I will share it. So, African Science wasn't sure if it's ascribed to human beings 200,000 plus year, and I think that's what Shekanta Diop said. So you can see this is the entry Homo sapiens. All right, and there, have a Homo sapien male here. How do I go back? They usually look like them. Hold on, where was it? So, in contrast, a majority of paleoanthropologists wishing to bring the study of hominins into line with that of other mammals prefer to assign to Homo sapiens only those fossil forms that fall within the anatomic spectrum of the species as it exists today. In this sense, Homo sapiens is very recent, having originated in Africa more than 350,000 years ago. Oh, hold on. All right. Now, African Science Road, I asked because I'm sure over that 200,000 years, many groups had many different traditions. Yeah. Now, the Buddhists, they carry on with their traditions. The Hindus, they carry on with their traditions. They are quite numerous, so nobody bothers them. But when black people want to follow their own tradition, not only non-blacks will try to deter them from it, but many black people as well would do so. You notice how it is. If you stick to the Abrahamic um, way of life, everything is all good. Make the prophets and the patriarchs black. Oh my goodness, or you will have some following. But it's not my thing. Not my thing at all. So, by learning the Medu Netcher, you will learn a field of science. You will learn a scientific field, not in an academic setting, of course. I'm not coming up with some online university, but it's part of science, something that is taught at university, for which you can get qualification all the way up to PhD. Uh, I've seen some online schools about metaphysics that also give degrees all the way to PhD, but I don't think it's accredited. Now, if anybody deals with metaphysics, she will most likely get a lot of followings because people love to hear about different metaphysical talk, root chakra, kundalini, astral projection. People love stuff like that. And they've been conditioned uh, with hearing unconventional claims from the get-go with the Abrahamic belief system. So people trying to come up with some explanation and shortcuts about how we came to be and how we function and how we can improve ourselves and so on. And a lot of people who deal with metaphysics, they will talk about numerology and how you can be happy and how you can be healthy and how you can earn money and with different stones and different food that you can eat and so on. People love stuff like that. Kind of make believe stuff, wishful thinking stuff. Have people hoping that if they acquire such and such product, that their life will be better. And amongst the so-called conscious community, we have many people who just have a mentality where, as long as it's black, then it's all right. You know. So they will criticize non-blacks for doing some stuff, and when black people do the same stuff, they will not criticize it anymore. So feel free. I've been flowing for a little while. I've been flowing for a little while, and it's a good thing that I came across that video from this lady who has more than 1 million subscribers on TikTok. But when she came up with a meet and greet, nobody was in attendance because that's the way it is. You know, and everybody can notice when I talk about other subjects, then there's usually some people. But whenever I talk about the meta nature, here it is. But yet, online we have so many comedic people, so many comedic people. Some don't claim.
and okay, no, that's not the here's. That's not the. Why is it not answer? Okay, no, that's not the here's. That's not the. Why is it not answer? Okay, and no, that's not the here's. That's not the. Why is it not answer? Okay, and no, that's not the here's. That's not the. Why is it not answer? I think you can hear me now, but I don't know why I don't have any sound. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. African Science wrote, I heard your friend Wesley Mohammed will be on Saturday this week. It's information. Doesn't share anything with me. For those who don't know, our brother African Science, right? Your friend. It's a euphemism. After Wesley Muhammad has challenged me back in the days, I accepted, then he back down. And I wanted to deal with this claim of black Arabs and black Prophet Muhammad, black Arabs of the 7th century and all that. So some people still believe in that. I have a very detailed article about this hoax. But as long as you claim, blackness of different patriarchs and claim that this different Abrahamic religion was originated with, uh, I'm sorry, originated by black folks, then you will always have some followers because that's just the way it is. But for those who don't know, Wesley Muhammad not only claimed that Prophet Muhammad was jet black and that Prophet Muhammad's family was jet black, but he even said, and I have him on tape, he said, if I can step down as a leader, okay, that's interesting to know. Um, Wesley Muhammad said that the only true Islam is the Islam of Elijah Muhammad. And it's a very weird statement to make. And I'm being diplomatic right now. You know what I'm saying? Many people don't really know the Islam of Elijah Muhammad, but I addressed it, I addressed it before. So African Science wrote, apparently Farah can step down as a leader. I don't know if that's true. I think if it was true, more people would have addressed it. And I don't see anything right now. Uh, where did you get that from? Okay, don't know how true that was. I don't know how true. What Sanetta said. Okay. Well, who knows? Maybe some people have some information from the inside, but I don't think it's the kind of thing they would want to be leaked before there's an official statement. But I really don't know. I really don't know. I think he will probably do like Elijah Muhammad and like the popes usually do. It's just stay on post until they made their transition. And Sanetta said that his son will take over. Well, Sanetta has a lot, some very good insight apparently. So if his son was to take over, it will probably be Mustafa, who is, if I'm not mistaken, the supreme captain. But hey, they can do their thing. They can do their thing because they've been down with the Scientology, and Scientology they have a lot of money, and they have some exotic teaching, so it all fits. It all fits. So, brothers and sisters, feel free if you have any questions or comments. But for those who just arrived recently, for those who just arrived recently, I am looking for Medu Netcher learners. I'm looking for people who want to learn the Medu Netcher. If you are interested, then just send an email to me and tell me which day of the week suits you at 4 p.m. EST. Indeed, New York time. Any day of the week, Monday to Sunday. Let's get serious. Let's stop playing games. All these other people, we keep on teaching the stuff they've been teaching that hasn't gotten us anywhere. There are some people who are trying to preserve this Kemetic culture, Kemetic teaching. You could be part of them. And for those who want to get on the panel, though I have already shared the link. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, never mind. That's the reality of it. And people won't even show their face, man. And they talk about revolution. I just can't wait to have people so we can deal with the meta nature and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really see the point just talking for the sake of it. You look at most people; they just follow their tradition, their culture. You know what I'm saying? But the Kemetic, when it comes to Kemetic people, it's more claiming than practicing. Now, I haven't received any reply from Mboli. I didn't really expect to receive one any, but that's just for the record. However, there's no sign that shows that he saw my message. So, you know. We have a lot of people who shh, a lot of people who focus on showing similarity between teachings of Kemet and Christianity, and so some go a bit overboard with it. But whenever there's correlation between different Abrahamic belief system and Kemet, a lot of people like to hear that. Just like we have many people who like to say that in Kemet those people were monotheistic. you know, some people came with some way of life, and some people feel like they have to be um, they have to be within this way of life, within this worldview. So they will come up with some explanation, to try to fit in. You know, as long as you don't hurt people, you don't have to fit in. We don't see Hindus say, well, as a matter of fact, we are monotheistic. It's just like, yeah. And on Facebook, I mean, I kind of really stopped uh, spending time on Facebook. But oh my goodness, you have all those people on Facebook. They are so thorough, and they diss Abrahamic people. They act like it's time to wake up. This is the way. Blah blah blah. Hold on. All right. One African country has decided to use what we call crypto money, but I'm not sure how you say in English. But all those people who are so live and so thorough, who want to tell our people that we don't have any business being into the Abrahamic belief system, as usual, they are anonymous and unidentified, man. I mean, the sad thing is that in the English speaking world is becoming like in the French speaking world. The French speaking world is just lame as heck. You know, mainly because they try to follow what's being done in the English speaking world. You have a lot of people in France who are not just regurgitating but remixing the pseudo knowledge coming out of the English speaking world. So people who are not fluent in English they are thinking they think that they're hearing something new, something but special. But I mean, I could go over it, but I have in the past. But my main focus really is to find people who are interested in learning the meta nature. That's really what I'm looking for, and I will continue to look for. It's time to get serious. I'm just tired of having all those people, who just don't know the culture at all and make interpretation. We have so many people that make interpretation. They see some depictions, they see some pictures, they see some statues, they see some painting, and say, well, this it represents this because this, and just because they, you know, either they heard it or they just decided to make that up, you know. And we have the text, we have the writing, we have the language, but for some people, it's not. Oh man, I'm telling you. Um, Sometimes I have some comments, and I'm thinking, okay, should I tell the brother or the sister you need to come back to earth? But I just ignore it. But let's be a bit more down to earth. Let's try to control what's going on earth, because we can before we can focus so much on outer space events or out of space world. Like I was saying early on, I did a search on YouTube and I've typed Kemetic, and I used the filter to see the results by uploaded date or by upload date. And a fair bit, if not the majority of the videos or the results, showed stuff that I will label as metaphysical. You know. Now, there's some people that I don't want to name who claim to be dealing with the meta nature, but they're just pseudo, and it's been demonstrated for real. You know. So if you hear people saying that rise of volcano or lies in the Egyptian text, what I'm saying, I suggest that you don't waste your time. It's time to get serious. And I just can't wait. I just can't wait, really. So let me know what's up, brothers and sisters. Let me know what's up. What's good in the hood? What's popping in the street? What's hot in the street? What tradition do you follow? I know, I'm sure that a lot of people who, hey, what's up, Pan African Designs and Apparel? I'll be doing well, brother. I'm gonna get something to drink. I'll be right back, okay? All right. Now, our brother has a question. How is it possible for non-Africans to have 100% non-African DNA? Well, I thought the end of the sentence would say to have African DNA or some African DNA. I really don't know. Like I said many times, the DNA, the genetics is not my lane. I'm not really familiar with it. Now, for those who are thinking, should I take the metallurgy classes? What do you have to lose? 10 hours for one. I'm sorry, 10 hours. $10 for 1 hour. So the worst you can lose, the worst that could happen, is $10. Now, if you like the first class, you might want to take a few other classes. You might just try maybe for 1 month. So that will be $40. Now, out of the year, I think there are 3 months or two that have 5 weeks. So at most $50 for 1 month. There might be just one of you who will decide, okay, I'm going to try to learn the meta Netcher and see how it goes. And ultimately, you might appreciate it, you might like it, and recommend it to some other person. You see, a single one of you can make a huge difference. Remember that. You can be part of the people that will preserve this tradition, this culture. It's time to get serious. Let's take it further. Let's take it up a notch. I'm really tired of talking with pseudos. I'm really tired of talking with smooth talkers who claim that they want to learn it, that they will learn it, that they have to finish this and finish that. And it's been going on for 2 years, you know? And I'm sorry to say that, but the majority of people that registered, signed up for the Medu Netcher classes are people who found out about my channel recently, you know? Other people, I don't know what they're waiting for, and I'm not trying to wait on them, you know? And that's the reason why I will insist, because when I'm live streaming, ultimately there's some people who are not familiar with the channel. They might not even be subscribed to the channel. But they see that there's a live stream, and out of interest, because of the title mainly, they just hop in. And then like, okay, yeah, let me give it a go, you know. But I mean, I know some people who've been claiming to be Kemetic for years, man. I'm telling you, a good decade. And for that decade, they say that they will learn it, but they don't, you know. There's a lot of artifacts that we can go through, you know. There's a lot, you know. So yes, the date really, the starting date really that I'm proposing is September. But like I said, if we have at least 5 people for a time slot, and the time slot being any day of the week from Monday to Sunday at 4 p.m. EST, New York time. You see? So if we have 5 people, let's say for Monday, 4 p.m. EST, we can start before September. Just 5 people. I used to look for 10 people, but now I'm just saying, okay, let's have 5 people. You see? This can happen. Do you think we can do this, brothers and sisters? Do you think we can have 5 people for a day? Is this something? Is it unrealistic? Let me know. Is it unrealistic to you? Is it unrealistic? Just type in realistic or unrealistic in the chat. Let's have a little bit of participation. And if I talk in the wind, if I talk to the wind, if I talk in vain, then I'm like, okay, today's not the day. I'll try another day. And people do what they do. You want to follow Dianetics and Scientology, go ahead. You want to follow people who say that black means death and Africans are living the jungle life, then go ahead. You want to follow people who say that black means death, that that we are not Africans, that we are not black, then go ahead. You know, you want to follow people that celebrate the death of Africans, then go ahead. Go ahead. You know, they are numerous, they are established. They've been there for a minute on the block. Okay, there's no participation, and I should have done that early on anyway. But I used to do that back then. Don't you remember? So I would take back some good habits. So uh, next time, the energy will not be wasted. All right. So you might be tired, you might be shy, but if if people are shy in the chat, I mean, what's the point? So I will look for Medu Netcher learners. I will definitely insist. People can go and learn all this pseudoscience. They have all this platform with all these people and all this participation. That's not what I'm choosing to do. I don't want to do any linguistic acrobatics and linguistic gymnastics. I don't want to do all this melting pot in terms of theology and so on. I want to stick to science. And yeah, okay. So stay safe, stay healthy. And if I'm allowed to buy the Netcheru, I will definitely holler back at you, Hotel. Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Netcher classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more. I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Medu Netcher class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Medu Netcher lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Medu Netcher, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills
and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning about a Netcher, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Netcher classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Netcher class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.